but it's relevant. So actually, the truth of the matter is I was born in that area, but I was born in Louisville, Kentucky in 1956. What major sporting event is hosted in Louisville, Kentucky every year?
Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby.
Thunder over Louisville.
Katrina's just bringing back any memories. So did I say I was born in Louisville and raised in New Albany, Indiana, right across the river from Louisville, as we used to say? But until I met Roger and Katrina, I'd never been to the Kentucky Derby. Can you imagine that? That it took Roger and Katrina to show me the way to Churchill Downs, and so we went there one fateful day. I've heard some comments in the crowd that suggest that they, as I, recognize that Roger.
Rachel.
What's your name? Oh, that's where the confusion lies.
Right, it is.
It's that 2R thing. He's a neat guy. He's a dapper guy. He's always put together. Charlie commented on the fact that he's never dirty, even when he's on the job, and everybody else is sweaty and dirty and disgusting. What is it about this man? Well, I wondered about that as we were tooling down the highway, I-65 south to Churchill Downs on that fateful day when we were going to my very first Kentucky Derby. Was that your first, by the way? Number one. Have you been back since? Not it. I got it. It's a good story. What did I mention? The suspense is building, right? You know, here's this weird thing. Roger and I both share a lot of things in common. We wear glasses. And I was noticing that literally like every hour on the hour, Katrina, forgive me, but you were cleaning Roger's glasses. And I thought it was the strangest thing. Are you guys familiar with these kind of things? So Katrina has like a lifetime supply of these, apparently. And I'm not kidding. I mean, within, I don't know how long we were together that day, 8, 10 hours, who knows? We had a few cocktails, saw a few horses, placed a few bets, saw some hats. But at every juncture, Katrina was there cleaning his glasses. And I thought, that is so odd. And it seemed to be such an annoying thing. But little did I know that he was paying her behind the scenes to do that because he didn't want people to know what a freaking neat-nick nut job he was. Who knew? I found out that day. It was very disquieting. I think were we driving? I think we were driving. They were in the back seat. She wiping his glasses, It was just crazy.
Now I do it. It did, didn't it?
Here's the one, Roger, forgive me, because this may hurt. I apologize. It's just so true. Really? So there was a day, it was a dark day in Roger's life, and we had known each other actually before that day somewhat casually. We were in the same business, and we weren't close, but on that day you might say we bonded. Roger, it was a heavy day for him, and I was there to empathize and share his burden. And as I walked outside to my car, it was a miserable frickin' day. It was cold, it was wet, and there was something going on in my body I did not understand until later. It must have been the waves of empathy that I had for your situation at the time, but on that day, we both mutually felt as bad as we've ever felt in our lives. He mentally and emotionally, me physically. But Roger, I'm here to tell you, I got to confess this, brother, because I know this was a defining moment in our relationship, and you see it very differently than I. Because what I realized in my 62 years, which is 3 years less than yours, and I'm not Medicare eligible, I have understood that it's impossible to have a perspective that you've never had. And Roger, deeply touched by the moment, as was I, but in a very different way, because physically, I thought I was dying. And Roger, I got to confess, I've held that against you all these years. And brother, I got to say, before all these friends and my goodness, I mean, friends and family, I mean, we've redefined that here tonight. Brother, I forgive you for that day. You thought it was hard on you, but it was harder on me. And I gave up my gallbladder for you just a few days after that. And that was big for me. So I'm just saying. We can look at the same things very differently, right?
Right.
I mean, my goodness sakes, Roger. But we've been close ever since that day in ways that I can't even begin to describe. I remember pretending to play golf at, what's the name of that golf course down in Columbus?
The golf course in Columbus, yes.
Otter Creek.
Otter Creek, yeah. We went down, I got the hat. We bonded that day as well, right? That was special. But let's be honest. I mean, the defining moment, I don't know about you, but of my life was when I met your second wife, Rochelle.
Right.
I didn't ask your permission to tell the rest of the story.
You can tell the
Rochelle,
story
so
as well.
I hope you'll forgive me.
I do.
Because let me tell you the story as advertised so far. So the storyline, and Mike Allen can attest to this. I'm not going to tell any of the stories about the dating days that preceded this and the Amazon-like women and all the. I mean, my lovely bride is not here tonight, but I fell in love when I was age 15, and I had no idea. I mean, women are. I mean, Roger, really? I mean, before he met Rochelle, I couldn't relate. I really couldn't, but it was very, very entertaining. I will say that it was very entertaining. And I really think he was telling me one of those stories as this goddess, as I saw her at that time. She showed up, and it happened to be my birthday. It was, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Got that part right.
Must have been 5 years ago.
Yep. Almost.
6.
6.
Yeah. And Rochelle walks up to me. Now Roger doesn't know the real story, but she walked up to me at a bar. Did you guys know that whenever you see them on Facebook, they always have a drink in their hand? I mean, really, these people just drink and drink and drink. But anyway, I digress.
You do.
So she came up to me to wish me a happy birthday. But I feigned that I had never seen her in my life. I feigned that she may have been the most beautiful woman I've ever seen up to that moment. And as she came up, and she was all over me, Roger. I mean, she was calling me handsome and baby and this and that, and I played right along. I played right into her hand. I acted as if I had never met her in my life.
You understand I go last, right?
Huh?
You understand I go, okay.
No. But here's the thing. All those stories of those wild, crazy women that you had, I mean, frankly, you didn't know any more about it than I did, but you were a little ahead of me in the book. And while he was telling me that story, those stories, during that year or so, whatever it was, you didn't know that Rochelle and I were playing poker on Friday night. We actually knew each other very well. So when you thought you were playing me, we were playing you, brother. That's right. Yeah. I knew her. I knew. Just like a little sister, I knew her. That's all there was to that. And don't ever think there was any more than that. But Roger, it's hard to get serious. You're a good guy. I'm blessed to know you. I really am. But Mike Allen, you know, I mean, he went over the top, so I'm not going to do that. But I love you. These people love you. Shoot, I couldn't get a crowd like this if I paid them all $100. I was thinking about that. All these people were too. They're looking around saying, good Lord, I don't know that many people. And if I did know them, I couldn't pay them enough to get them in a room and say nice things about me. Good Lord. Isn't that something? You guys, your family, your extended family, and you as the patriarch, you're an inspiration to all of us. You really are. We love you, and we look forward to, we hope you live a long time because we like this, We really do. And you're one of my few Medicare eligible friends, and I'm envious of that. So here's to Roger and Medicare.
Cheers! Right, no, you're good. Yes, God.